everyone, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. This is Style with Chika, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I went about the cutting and the sewing of this beautiful top that I have on. It was requested by one of you on my Instagram. I am so glad that I made this tutorial because this top turned out very beautiful. And if you're interested in learning how I made this, keep on watching. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, hit on that subscribe button. Do not forget to turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload new amazing tutorials like this. And let's get started. For this top, I'm going to be making use of just 1 yard of lycra fabric. It is a stretchy kind of fabric. It stretches in both ways, okay? So you can get lycra or you can get jersey fabric. And for this, I'm just going to see how I can optimize this 1 yard to give me this style. So on this point, I'm going to start by drawing a straight line. This straight line is going to be my starting line and my shoulder line. From here, I am going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, which gives me 8 inches, and then I will come down by 1 inch from this point. From here, I would come in at this point again by 3 inches, and then I'll connect upward. This 3 inches is my neck width, so I'm going to connect upward like this. Alright, so then at this shoulder point now, I'll come here again and I'll add extra 1.5 inches. This is because I would like to gather this shoulder just a little bit, so I'm just going to extend this point like this. So from here, I'm going to mark out my armhole line. For my armhole line, it is going to be my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. I got 7.6 for mine, and I've left a mark at this point. So I'll go down to my bust point and then I'll mark it out. And then I'll go down to my waistline. I'll go down to my waistline. For my waistline for this top, I'm going to be making use of 17.5 inches, and then I'll mark that out. So I'll just draw straight lines across these points like this. From this point, I'm going to come down by about 8 inches, which is right here, and then I'll draw a straight line across this point. And after I draw 8 inches from this point, from this 8 inches mark, I will then come up again by about half of 8 inches, which is 4 inches. Okay, and I'm coming up by 4 inches because this top has a back, while this extra one here is because it has a gather at the side. So this extra one here will help me to gather the side of the top. So I'm going to go ahead and label these lines. So guys, now I have labeled these lines. This is my armhole line, my bust line, my waistline, my back line, and then this is just for the extra gathers. So I'm going to come to my armhole line here, and I'll take my bust measurement divided by 4. I'll go ahead and mark that out here. So I'll just leave a little mark here. So because it's a bodycon top and we want it to be fitted and to hug us, I'm going to come in again at this point by 1.5 inches, just like you can see. Okay, because it's a bodycon top, I will also not be adding any stitching allowance because the material is stretchy. Any added allowance to make it bogus. I'll go ahead now and mark this new point here on my bust line also, and then I'll just connect with a straight line like this. After I connect with a straight line, I'm going to connect this point to meet my shoulder here. I'll be using a curve, but then it's be going outward like this. Alright, so then I'm going to come to my waistline, and then I'll take my waist measurements divided by 4. I'll mark that out at this point, but then again it is a fitted top, so I'll just remove about 1 inch here from my waist. I'm moving just 1 inch here from my waist because of the backs. I'll mark the same measurements here, and I'll mark the same measurement here. So which means that I'm just going to try my best to connect these points together like this. Okay, so now this one has to go off. So this is what I have. So now because of the gathers and the backs, I'm just going to come up from this point to this point like this. So by the time I gather this one, it will come back to the original measurement. So I'll go ahead now and I'll just create a little neckline here for a guide. I'll go ahead now and cut this out. This pattern is going to be the same for my front and my back. Guys, from this point now, I'm going to come down by about 7 inches. So I'm going to draw a straight line at this point. So from this point now, I'll cut through, but I'll try my best not to cut out everything. So it's going to be like this. Okay, this is what it's going to be looking like. Oops, mine has cut, but then I will still just place it like this. Let me go ahead and fold my material into 2. Alright, so I have my fabric in a fold here and I have my pattern paper here, so I mistakenly cut it, which you guys saw. So if you're doing yours, just try your best not to cut it, but then if you really mistakenly cut yours like mine, just go ahead and follow the steps that I will be showing right now. So you want to fold your fabric in 2, just like you've seen me do. Alright, so from this point now, I'm just going to slant my fabric here, making sure that I have at least 1 inch at the edge here. So I'm going to take this other piece like this and I'll just place it right like this. I'll also slant this way. Okay, once I slant it this way now, I'm just going to make use of my scissors to hold it down so it doesn't move around. So I want to have a little bit of a cowl neckline right here. So at this point, which is supposed to be for my neck width, this point that I put here as a reference, I'm just going to draw a straight line across here like this. So this straight line may not be very visible because it's very difficult for my chalk to mark down on this, but I'll just try my best. I just left a little mark here, so you just watch as I cut through because I know that it's not very visible. So I'm just going to go ahead now to cut another piece of this. Guys, so now I'm going to head to cut out 2 pieces of this, one for the front and one for the back, just like this. So now I'm just going to cut out another piece using the remaining piece of fabric I have. I'll cut out something like an interfacing that I'll be using to turn the neckline through to the armhole. So I'm just going to take on my material like this, just like I can see me doing. Please don't get confused. I'm going to try again to fold my material in 2, just like this. As I fold my material in 2 like this, I'll take the piece of clothing and then I'll fold it in 2 just like it was when I cut it out, just like this. Alright guys, once I've arranged it on top of the other, I know that it's not very easy for you guys to see, but then I've arranged it one on top of each other. So now I'm just going to trace out what I have. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna head to trace out exactly what I have. So I'll just trim off the base too, just like this. So guys, now I'm going to use this as a lining, or you can call it an interfacing that I'll be using to turn in the neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut the same piece for the back. So guys, I'm going to start showing after I've cut out the piece of material that I'm going to be using to line the neck. So I'll start showing from this part, which is the neck. So I'm just going to take it and then I'm going to place it right sides facing each other, just like this. And then I'll sew down on it. I'll go ahead and do the same thing to the other side, whatever I do to this one. So I'm gonna have to sew on it, and this is what it's looking like. So I'm going to work on the shoulders now. For the shoulders, I'm going to gather it. So I'm going to take my pattern paper here. So this is my initial shoulder measurement here, from this point to this point, before I added the extra allowance for the gathers at the shoulder. So I'm going to measure what I have within this point, and what I have is just about 5 inches. So because I want this to be smaller, since it's a sleeveless, I'm going to be using 4 inches. So you just have to reduce what you have by 1 inch. So I'm just going to gather this shoulder point here to 4 inches. I'll now gather this other side here to 4 inches. So I'm gonna head together around this point, and this is what it looks like. I made use of my needle and thread when I was gathering it. So I'm just going to take my other piece and I'm going to place it right on top of each other. When you're placing, make sure that you're placing the interfacing to interfacing and your material, that's your front bodies, to your front bodies. I do hope you understand. Like this part that we use to turn it inside out is going to face each other, while the main material pieces are going to face each other. So then I'm just going to go ahead and sew on the shoulders, and I'll do that on both sides. So guys, after I've sewed on both sides now, I'm then going to turn it over to the right side, just like this. I'll hold it here and then I'll flip it to the right side. So I'll make sure that the shoulders align here. I'm going to start with this side. So now this is the way it's going to be placed. Okay, so now we want to close up the armhole. Once you have this like this now, you want to go ahead and hold the two shoulder points like this, and then you are going to turn it to the back like this. When you turn it to the back like this, you just use a pin to hold it down. So this is what it should be looking like from the front after you've held it down. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to hold it down like this. I will just adjust my material like this, and then I'll pin along the armhole. So when you're doing this, you will understand better what I am doing. So then you're going to pin along the armhole. So you actually be pinning on one side of the armhole first. So now I'll go ahead and close up this side first. From the side that I've pinned, I'll close it up. So guys, after I've sewn on it now, I'll then just flip it over like this. By the time you flip it over, you'll notice that you've already sewn on one side of your armhole. Now to close this other side of your armhole, you want to hold it like this, and then you flip it to the back again like this. So when you flip it to the back like this, you then begin to adjust it again like this, so you have the right sides facing each other. And then I'll just hold the piece together. You can go ahead and pin this down, and then you sew along this area as the armhole again. So guys, once I've sewn on it now, I'll just turn it over to the right side, and with that now I'm done with closing this armhole space like this. So guys, after I was done turning in my armhole on both sides, this is what it was looking like. I'll go ahead and give this a good press when I'm done. So I'm gonna head to sew hem the base of the top. So now on the sides, I'm going to join it together. But before I join it, I'm going to gather it. Okay, so I'm going to gather it by 4 inches lesser than the measurement that I have here. So I'm going to use my needle and thread now to join it together so it can gather a bit to 4 inches lesser than the measurement that I have here. Guys, now I'm gonna head to gather it on the side, and this is what it's looking like. Okay, I gather it on all the sides, both the front and the back. So now I'm just going to take them, and then I'll place them side by side, but then the interfacing, which is this one, I'm going to spread it out also. What I'm going to do now is to sew on it like this while opening up the interfacing. Okay, I'll sew like this, and I'll do that on both sides. So after I've sewn on the side for both sides, I'm just going to turn it over to the right side now. So at this point here, I'll just go ahead and tack it down. I'll tack it down so that it will not come up. The lining piece will not come up. And then along this area, I'm going to iron it, and I'll iron it out with my hemming gun. So guys, after I was done sewing and ironing on it, this is what it looked like. So for this, you can actually wear this top in different styles. You can wear it as an off shoulder completely, just like you see here, or you can wear it as a cow neckline dress just by raising up the shoulders and adjusting the neckline. And then last, you can wear it as a mono strap, just like the one you see in my thumbnail. So you guys should look at all these and vote which one you like best, and then I'll be in the comments to see what you guys have to say. If you found this tutorial very helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to this channel for more content, and I'll see you in my next one.